Hey everybody, this is Perch. This is kind of one of those. This is entered my channel's fuck it stage. So I suspect this mail will generate some controversy, and my answer will too. But I'm just going to give you a very direct answer that will probably offend people. So there you go. Please save your breath, e-fapping or whatever the hell you want to do. But let's see. I think the premise of this mail I agree with. Are you ready? All right, here we go. This is I'm just going to read it verbatim, and man, people are going to be pissed. Anti-woke channels are making annoying fans is a subject. Dear Perch, no, everybody has lost a sense of humor. I've got no Perchington, the perched. Anyway, parched perch. Anyway, Perch is parched. You need some whiskey. You know what? Never mind. All right. I find it weird, that neither you nor your colleagues, like Wes from Thinking Critical, don't find the opinions of large sections of your audience bothersome. To be clear, I'm not saying you should police your audience. Free speech, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, etc. But the fact that you don't notice the trend of increasingly awful opinions is head-scratching. So let me stop you right there. Yeah, I notice. I, we'll get to the bottom here in a minute, and I'll just piss off all of my own fans, but that's okay. But in fairness, they're not fans; they're just commenting on my channel. A lot of the people who are posting this stuff, they're not fans. I mean, that's abundantly clear. And that's totally okay. But I am Gen X, and I'd rather have the bad comments out there than get in there and delete them. My daughter, every now and then, like, she goes through weird phases where she's like, you know what? I'm not gonna have these people being dicks about dad. And she'll delete stuff. Or, I did have to stop her once. I made her apologize on my board, and I don't think anybody understood what was happening. But she started like writing things like, hey, F you. I'm like, hey, you're 12. Anyway, all right, we'll get back to the mail. By awful opinions, I don't mean liking a comic or a movie that is considered terrible. I mean stuff like calling any female character with agency as girl bossing or immediately shouting woke when a person of color appears in a story. Hell, Sully from the Thinking Critical crew genuinely thinks that Peach Momoko's Ultimate X-Men is misandrist for some bizarre reason. Like, what the fuck? I haven't heard him say that, but yes, I agree. I don't, Sully. I don't know Sully that well, but that is weird. Ultimate X-Men is misandrist. People use that word too much. Is that really Sully? I'm disappointed in you. Anyway, I don't know. It's just a comic. I don't particularly like the comic, but I don't like it because I'm not invested in it. I like the art style. I like some of the things, but I'm not super invested in what's going on. When I read Ultimate X-Men, the Peach Momoko version, my takeaway is always like, there's a good manga out there that is in this style that's actually pure manga and not trying to do a manga take on the X-Men, and I could just be reading that. That's what's in my head. Nothing against it. I'm not like passionately against it or passionately for it, but no, I don't think it's woke or misandrist or anyway, whatever. Okay, back to the mail. I honestly think disingenuous channels like Neurotic and the rest of his crew, Critical Drinker and the like, have poisoned these fans on how to actually consume entertainment and view storytelling. You know what? Somebody's going to ask in the comments, I'm looking at the person who wrote this. It is not your boy Zach. Okay, just you don't need to go there. If somebody vaguely has an opinion the same way as the other, this is not that guy. Okay, so just lay off. All right, you don't need to write that comment. If you already wrote it before you finish the video, you're writing in real time. Just delete the comment. Come on, you don't need to start every battle all at once. What's that movie? Every battle all the time simultaneously. No, it's not the movie name, but anyway, no, not this is somebody else with a different opinion. What Perch? What if it, no, he's not using a sock puppet. Anyway, all right. I'm sure go back to the mail. I'm sure if Aliens or Star Wars came out today, both Ripley and Leia would be called girl bosses, and those movies would be labeled feminist propaganda. Sad to say, I completely agree. I'm sorry, I do. We'll get to more of that, my opinion on movies in a minute, but I'm under no illusions. I think a lot of these movies, I mean, hell, Raiders of the Lost Ark has Marion at times like slapping people and drinking and doing all this stuff. And there'd be somebody with a channel going, this girl boss thinks she's stronger than Indy. And it just would, it would be, look, because It's too easy. That's why this stuff happens. It's just way too easy. And because a lot of people watch it, I mean, you give people what they want. What's the expression that from several years ago? Be a hot dog vendor. So a lot of these channels are doing. They're serving the hot dogs. People want a hot dog, they're giving the hot dog. The hot dog in this case is girl boss woke. That's what the hot dog is, and people are eating that hot dog. People are taking that hot dog and slapping it against their face. And obviously I've gone too far. Anyway, all right. Back to the mail. I'm not saying this is the mail. I'm not saying those channels should be banned or silenced, but I do think they bear responsibility for cultivating these sorts of people. I saw your video about what makes a disingenuous creator, and I do think creators like Neurotic or Critical Drinker, those two have names, right? I think, isn't the Neurotic guy Gary? Is that right? I'm not doing a bit. I literally don't know, or have erased it from my brain because I don't remember anything. And you put a gun to my head. What is the Critical Drinker guy's name? Paul. I'm gonna say Paul. No, wait, that's the Spider-Man guy. People think that's a shot. What's a good Scottish name? Seamus. Okay, now I'm thinking of the wrestler. Okay, anyway, all right. Back to this. Their criticisms are lazy, misinformed, sometimes outright wrong. I'm reading the mail, obviously. Somebody did a whole reaction on me commenting on somebody's mail, thinking I was the person reading the mail. Jackass, it's not that hard. Okay. All right. I'm willing to bet they don't even believe the outrage they spew. I'm also willing to bet their opinions about entertainment are so dishonest. Instead of just saying what they feel about a piece of media, be it popular or unpopular opinion, like you do, they play the game of figuring out their own audience feels first and making sure their own opinions fall in line. Well, I said this in another video. I'm not in their head, so I don't know. Maybe, sure. Do some YouTube creators who have channels make shit up based on what they think the audience wants to hear? Yes, absolutely. I can say that with certainty because they've admitted it, both publicly in some cases and privately. I've had people reach out to me going, hey, I actually like this, but if I say it, I'd get roasted on my own channel, so I'm not going to do it. And they're right. They would. You see my comment section. You see people show up here like, Perch of the Fence Sitter. He's an industry shill. Yeah, he's bitched about Marvel to the point that Cebulski hates him, but he's a shill somehow. Yeah, fuck off, pal. All right. But so they're right. But I don't know those two. I literally don't. I think I've seen Gary from a distance in real life. And I've never seen the Seamus. I'm sure that's not his name, but Angus? No, it's not very there. Somebody in the comments right now is like, he's Irish, not Scottish, you piece of shit. No, I know. No, I don't. I'm doing a bit on top of a bit. Anyway. But I don't know what they're thinking. Maybe they think this way. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're lying about all their reviews. Maybe they aren't. If I'm being brutally honest with you, I don't really care. It's not pertinent to the point, whether they're making it up or not. Some people do, some people don't. I'm sure that's all true. I think what I do agree with this letter writer on is that all of this, and I don't think you blame. I mean, look, everybody is a walking around human being with a brain. You don't have to just, believe what you're told. You don't have to do that. Okay. But people do. And people are freely give away their intelligence and critical thinking. That's not a shot at Wes. And parts of their brain, they give away their agency to somebody and just regurgitate that shit. So I've done videos like, no, the Superman and the Fantastic Four were not floppy flop flop flops because they lost billions of dollars. That's not the case. It's a lie to say that. And if you're repeating that without doing 5 seconds on Google, I mean, who's the moron there? Is it the Critical Drinker guy, or is it the dumbass who's regurgitating something? I mean, at some point, we all have to be responsible for ourselves. I say lots of things, and I hope nobody. I've said this before, and I truly mean it. And I think I think a lot of people think I don't know. They don't listen. I don't want a bunch of sycophants. The last thing I want is people on this channel going like, Perch said, so therefore. No, it disgusts me. I'm saying things, and I hope you all have your own brain. Make up your own opinion. That's what I want. I do not want lemmings. So I have a hard time with the argument of, well, these guys forced these people to be stupid. No, these people were stupid on their own. But I am with you that, like, look, there is a pattern of just regurgitated bullshit that plays out here that I get tired. It tires me out, and I do wish some people would just try something new. Be brave. But this is a lot of people's revenue stream, so easy for me to say that. The money I make off this channel, the only reason I have ads on this channel at all is because, and I've experimented this many times. The second I turn them off, YouTube stops. Even if you click the bell for notification, they stop putting that out. They suppress it. I can't find my videos in the search engine. The second I turn off the ad revenue, it jacks up all over the place on YouTube. So I turn it on and I try and do as little ads as possible. Now I learned that YouTube changed something where you have to click a button so it doesn't auto insert a bunch of bullshitty ads, like 50 ads into the middle of your video. But hopefully it's minimal. I'm sorry if you're getting more ads than you are. I am sorry, but in return, I take that money and I give it to comic shops. I give it to the Boys Girls Club. I try and, the money goes somewhere else. I pocket none of it. So it's very easy for me to sit on a high horse here and go, hey, people shouldn't care about the money. They should be real. I mean, look, I'm a hypocrite. I'm not taking the money for myself. So way easy for me to say that. Some people, this is how they're, paying their bills. This is their livelihood. So, it's fine. We'll finish up this mail. There's one more paragraph here. It says they are also extremely biased toward their conservative mindset when talking about entertainment. I wouldn't have a problem with this since everyone has a bias, but these people regularly bitch about politics in media. Neurotic even has the conservative politicians and pundits on his show from time to time. I guess the message is only wrong when it's not your message. Blatant hypocrisy right there. What say you, Perch, about all this? Well, I've been saying it all along. Look, at the end of the day, everybody's channel is their channel. They can run it how they see fit. If they want to talk about, the woke apocalypse every single day and how politics are bad every single day and then have Ted Cruz on their channel, that's their business. For me, and this is the Gen X in me, for me, it's your responsibility, you as the listener, to be a discerning listener and either say this is bullshit or not. If you're fooled, who is to blame? The fooler or the fool? I think some of this stuff is irresponsible. I think the thumbnails that go like Kathleen Kennedy drinking her tears and, James Gunn, too woke, explosion. That's crap. And I also think that people are way too quick to say, Wonder Woman's wearing pants in this comic. Clearly, she's a lesbian now. I guess, and this is a flaw in me. I recognize that this is a me problem. I want to believe that all the people out there, you listening, all of you, are smart enough to know the difference between actual dumbass, bad storytelling and crap and, blatant horseshit that comes out from people because of characters wearing pants. I mean, you're smart enough to spot the difference is what I want to believe. So please spot the difference. I can't tell you. I can't tell you what to like. Nobody should be able to. But here we are. So, well, what are you going to do? I feel like I should say something more. Look, I'll go further. I don't listen to Neurotic. It's not because of any of this, actually. I just never started. I have nothing against the guy. But I don't even know what the guy does. I have a pretty good sense of it from what other people say the guy does, but I just don't need, I barely have enough time to listen to anything. So I don't listen to it. I'm sure it's fine. I used to listen to Critical Drinker because it was funny. I thought it was a funny joke, and it was, I don't know, it was funny. I like the clips of Henry Cavill saying fuck and, the weird laughing guy and the J. Jonah Jameson little clips and everything else. But it's kind of like how I used to feel about Uncle Roger, that channel, the Honest Trailers guy. A lot of those shows, I used to listen to that stuff. And eventually the joke got old. I'm into Let's Game It Out right now, but I'm at the tail end of it because it feels old to me. I had it on the other day and I'm like, all right, it's the same old bullshit. And I turned it off. Um, the only guy that I've stuck with him, and probably it's because I know him personally, is the pitch meeting guy. That other than that, most channels come and go for me. So it is what it is. I think, look, to me, I do think there's a lot of irresponsible shit that goes on. I do think that a lot of these guys are blatantly lying about what their sources or what a movie was like or a comic was like and all the rest. I think there's a lot of lies out there. Just not just misstatements, but just pure lies. But at the end of the day, I also believe it is your responsibility to, suss out the lie, what's a lie, what's a truth. It's your responsibility. And if you're not willing to do that and you just give your brain over to someone else, well, maybe that person's a charlatan, but you're the person who gave away your brain. Thanks for listening.